I've got two big things to discuss with you guys on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. You got Allie Barefoot here. And first, we're going to be breaking down Payton Pritchard and whether or not he deserves a bigger role for the Boston Celtics moving into the postseason and even next year, as he did sign that contract extension earlier this season. On the back half of the show, there's been one report out there saying that Brad Stevens could possibly be leaving the Boston Celtics. We're going to break that down, whether it's true or not, towards the back half of the show, so you guys are going to want to stick around for that. But first and foremost, while all these NBA play-in games are going on, I'm just so thankful that the Boston Celtics don't play until next Sunday. I know you guys are going to enjoy this week off, getting ready for the NBA postseason with the Boston Celtics. So if you guys are just as proud of the Celtics as I am for the entire season and what they have accomplished, go on ahead and like this video. Send them some love on their very well-deserved break before the playoffs. Let's talk about PP here, shall we? Has he proven himself over the last two games of the regular season and a little bit more throughout that, but primarily what he did against the Hornets and the Wizards? It not only inspired me, inspired Smitty, but I know a lot of you guys are talking about what PP could do for the second unit in the Boston Celtics in the coming years. In the past two games, he not only hit one career high, but he hit another career high a game after that. He scored 31 points against the Hornets, and then he scored 38 points against the Wizards yesterday. He's averaging 34.5 points over those last two games, 6 rebounds, 12 assists, which is crazy. And he's not just taking these fluffy nutter shots. He's obviously trying to score the basket, 67.5% from the field. On top of that, 52% from downtown. He hit 3 back-to-back-to-back threes against the Wizards, while it was a pretty tight game with the bench playing the bench. But I want to talk about Pritchard's growth this season. He was not my favorite player at the start of the season, and I am bold enough to admit that. Preseason PP, I'm on that train. Early regular season PP, I was over it. I was like, why the hell did you just pay him his money? He sucks. But I think Pritchard really found his role with this new Boston Celtics offense, and that was he stopped trying to be this catch-and-shoot 3-and-D type of guard. That was never his MO. Now, he's really learned how to orchestrate an offense. He's really good at facilitating, and I never, ever, ever see the Boston Celtics take an offensive shot and not see PP immediately crashing to try and get that O-board. I have loved what he has done on the offensive and defensive side of the basketball, not just with the bench players, but also when he's in that rotation with Tatum and Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. He really does make a difference. And what Payton Pritchard said about his confidence over the last two games just speaks volumes about that dog that's in him. He said, look, I already knew what I could do this. But when you have a team with as much talent as we have, you have to do other things to help winning. Ultimately, I'm here to win a championship. What he did over the last two games did not surprise him at all. You got to remember, he was a 4-year starter at the University of Oregon. He knows how to be in the spotlight. And Mazzulla has already given him praise way before those last two games happened, said that Pritchard is the leader of our second unit. While Sam Hauser is phenomenal when it comes to catch and shoot three-pointers, Luke Cornett, he really does defend and block very well down low. But that offense does not run without Pritchard and without any starters. I noticed that against the Wizards, and I think that speaks volumes to what Pritchard has done. Not to mention, he also made history for the Boston Celtics in those last two games. I saw this little nugget on Twitter, which has the Boston Celtics history of what Pritchard has done in the last two games. He had over 30 points and 10 assists, obviously having a double-double. Well, this streak has been done by Celtics before. John Havlicek had 3 games straight where he had 30 points and 10 assists in 1970. Bird did it for 2 games, just like PP did in 2024, and Bob Cousy did it 2 games, 3 times in his career. So this is not something new in Boston Celtics organization, but it is definitely new in this decade for Payton Pritchard to do that. Overall, I think Pritchard has grown not only as a member of the Boston Celtics organization, but as an NBA player. I'm very excited to have him in our second unit moving forward after Brad Stevens saw something that maybe we didn't see earlier this year. After preseason P, he got that bag, and Brad Stevens knew he was going to do this for the Boston Celtics. A number one reason why I love Brad Stevens' vision, and I do think he could see a lot more minutes in the playoffs if Tatum, Jrue Holiday, Derek White do need a little bit more rest if they are up in those series. But nonetheless, we do still have to talk about Brad Stevens coming up here in the second half of this video. But First and foremost, if you trust Pritchard to lead that second unit, even in the postseason, all you guys got to do is go ahead and drop a like on this video down below. And next, we're going to talk about Brad Stevens, whether he's staying or leaving or whether he has new plans for the Boston Celtics franchise coming up in the future. I do want to break down Brad Stevens' future with the Celtics in just one moment. But first, I do want to tell you guys about the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America, Prize Picks. I'm playing it. Smitty's playing it. Here's why you guys need to be playing it, especially ahead of the NBA postseason. They constantly offer promotions and deals to help you guys test out your skills by picking between 2 to 6 players and just picking more or less on a player's projected stats. And like I said, they offer weekly promotions and special offers for the biggest moments in sports. I can think of only a few moments in sports history where the NBA playoffs are not as big. So I do think they will have some kind of promotion going on for the NBA postseason. Plus, they also offer Taco Tuesday, Flex Friday, every single Tuesday and Friday if you're ever looking for something like that. So if you guys want to play, all you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you're going to be able to watch yourself win some real money in real time. No NBA games here today, but the MLB is in full force. I got Cole Irvin to have more than 3.5 pitcher strikeouts. I personally like to take the Goblin on pitcher strikeouts just because you don't know if they get hit very early, if they're going to be taken out of the game. Obviously, can't go back in, so I want to make sure he's going to be good to go. So a Goblin is an easier pick. It just doesn't pay as much. But a Demon is a harder pick that pays a lot more, up to 25 times more on an entry. And, of course, I'm always going to pick the Yankees, Aaron Judge. I'm sorry, Boston Celtics fans. Smitty and I are, unfortunately, we are Yankees fans, so I got to see if Judge is going to do it. So I have him having more than just one home run. These are my prize picks. You don't have to do the Yankees one. You can make a Boston Red Sox one. That's totally fine. It's actually where the Boston Celtics are today, so I guess it would make sense. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is truly that easy to test your skills on Prize Picks. My worst nightmare could possibly be coming true after one reporter did put out there in the Twitter sphere that Brad Stevens could be eyeing a potential opening at the University of Indiana. Could he possibly leave the Boston Celtics to go back to college hoops? Here is the tweet that I saw from the reporter Seth Davis saying, with all the Billy Donovan chatter there is, another former college coach in the NBA who should not be forgotten is Brad Stevens. He's an Indiana native. Perhaps if there's a big job open in his native state next year, wink, wink, don't rule it out. It's more possible than you think. The reason why I assume Seth Davis thinks this is possible is because, yes, Brad Stevens has a very well-equipped college career when it comes to coaching. Over the past 2 decades, he was assistant coach for Butler 2001 to 2007. He was a head coach at Butler. Moved his way back up 2007 to 2013. He won national title game. He had national title game appearances in 2010 and 2011. And then now, of course, he was the Boston Celtics head coach from 2013 to 2021, and he moved to the front office in 2021. Well, a very well-respected reporter in the Boston Celtics world, who I'm sure is very close to Brad Stevens, Adam Himmelsbach, immediately quoted Seth Davis's tweet and just said, no, it's not. It's not a possibility. I assume he probably has some internal advice here, internal communications with Boston Celtics in the front office, and I completely agree with Adam Himmelsbach. Brad's not going anywhere. What he's doing for the Celtics right now, he is clearly planning for the future. Why would he try to build this franchise up if he doesn't plan on enjoying it and basking in there with them? Not to mention, if you just saw those years that I showed you on the screen, Brad Stevens has not coached college hoops in over a decade. Do you know how much has changed since 2013 in NCAA college hoops? Well, for starters, they don't wear long shorts anymore. Secondly, NIL. Third, the transfer portal. Brad Stevens is not going near that. Hence why he doesn't even coach in the NBA now, is because he's got a front office job. It's fake. It's a rumor. It's not going to happen. If it does, I would hope that there were more reports out there than just one speculation. But, of course, Adam Himmelsbach said, no, it's not. And I personally do trust Adam Himmelsbach. So we're putting that to a rest. Stevens would be a fool to go. I think it's personally backtracking. Yes, it would be a big job. But what's bigger than the Boston Celtics, man? There's no way. Stevens is building success for right now and for the future of Boston. And I personally think he's expected to stay. Of course, we don't have any confirmation on that, but I'll take Adam Himmelsbach's word over Seth Davis's. So if you guys love what Brad Stevens has done this year, I personally think he is a genius in the front office. Go ahead and give Brad Stevens some love. Spam Big Brad in the comments section if you love the moves he's made this year and the moves he's going to make in the future, because I know they're going to be amazing. Plus, if you enjoyed today's show, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button for me. We do have a week off until the NBA playoffs start and your Boston Celtics. So all you guys got to do to give us some love is like this video.